You know what it is. The Lonzo Ball era beginning tonight. The Chino Hills prodigy, the Lakers' #2 overall pick, debuts tonight in purple and gold against the Clippers. Stephen A., will Lonzo Ball be worth the hype?
To me, no. And that's not to knock him as a player. I think that he's going to be box office from the standpoint that people are going to be incredibly curious about what they see from him. He's got a high basketball IQ. He's a cerebral ball player. He's got skill. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, and I'm rooting for the brother. I really, really am. But I think that his father has has basically deposited some checks that his son can't cash. The way that his father has talked about him, listen, I know players that have looked me in the face and said when they go against him, they're going to drop 60. Okay? I can tell you that Jamie Foxx and others will tell you that they've spoken to players who've said the same thing. You've got dudes throughout the National Basketball Association who are literally salivating at the mouth to get a hold of this young brother because of how much trash his father has talked. They know he's a nice kid. They know he's got promise. They believe in years to come that he's going to be legit and validate that #2 overall selection in this past NBA draft. However, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, who his daddy said he was better than, Chris Paul or James Harden, whoever he's guarding at that particular moment in time. The list goes on and on and on. Max, I got to tell you, these brothers and what they want to do to this kid because of LeVar Ball's mouth. And there's nothing malicious, because they don't take LeVar Ball the way people have tried to judge him as a father and all of this. They're just talking about his mouth about basketball.
Competition.
From a competition's perspective, they want LeVar Ball in attendance. It's so bad for Lonzo Ball. I think it's one of those situations where it would be advisable for his daddy not to show up because if they see him in the stands, that's going to make them want to go at Lonzo.
They'll be motivated.
I'm sure everyone's going to come at him, and he's going to lose those one-on-one battles to more athletic players. But you got to think about the way Lonzo Ball was raised. You can get on LeVar Ball for a lot of things, and he deserves some of them, but not for the way he raised his kids in terms of the way they think about basketball. He's not worried about life. He's not, but we're keeping it to the competition. The life stuff comes into, can he be consistent throughout his career, block out distractions, those kind of things. And I believe the answer is yes. He seems like a good kid, and you see from his college career, he had intense focus on him, and he performed. Though De'Aaron Fox got him in the tournament.
Yes, 39. But
the way LeVar was right here saying, yeah, he might get him one-on-one. It's a team game. LeVar Ball talks about how all his kids are going to play on the Lakers and they're going to keep the team together because no one's salary demands are going to break up the team. Whatever else you want to say about LeVar, he emphasizes team basketball and winning. Winning is the important thing. So can Russell Westbrook put 50 on Lonzo Ball? Of course. Russell Westbrook put 50 on a lot of guys, and Lonzo Ball's not the most, the quickest, most athletic point guard. It's not about the one-on-one matchup at that position. In fact, the league oftentimes becomes too much about the one-on-one matchup at that position. Lonzo Ball is about what, Stephen A? Making everyone around him better. And that's why people want to play with the guy. That's why the Lakers select him. You start hearing chirping about, hey, LeBron James could wind up in L.A. This one could wind up in L.A. And what did you tell me about the difference between what people are saying, Lonzo Ball, D'Angelo Russell, right? Because I think a lot of their skills are very similar. But Lonzo Ball has given the impression, based on experiences people had with him, they want to play with the guy.
First of all, when he was at UCLA and people were looking at him for the draft, what they said about Lonzo Ball is that he had that it factor. That it factor because he galvanizes guys around him. They talk about his leadership ability and wanting to play with him. That's something different than what they said about D'Angelo Russell, who, by the way, dropped 30 in his debut as a Brooklyn Net yesterday against the Indiana Pacers. But here's the point that we all need to recognize about what you're saying in regards to Lonzo Ball. Making teammates better. What teammates? Because guess what? The Los Angeles Lakers don't have much of a team. I'm just going to put it out there. All right? The bottom line is this. We hope that they will look good. We hope they will be respectable. I mean, this kid, Caldwell Pope, This brother right here can play. He's a two-way player. He's got skills. He's getting $17 million a year. He's looking for a $100 million contract. He's going to be a free agent next summer. You got to remember, my sources tell me that initially D. Wade was supposed to end up in Los Angeles, but Pope ended up there. Obviously, Magic Johnson decided to go in a different direction. We don't know what kind of impact that's going to have on LeBron's future decisions. But just going down this roster, Brook Lopez, he's good for 20 and 10, but he's as slow as a snail with arthritis. And last time I checked, snails don't have arthritis. You're talking about Lonzo Ball. One of my boys just texted me with a quote, ironically, that a player said to me about Lonzo Ball about 3 weeks ago. They said Lonzo Ball couldn't guard a headache with a bottle of aspirin. That's what they said. That's what they said. Now, I'm not going to be cruel on the brother. I like him. He's got a lot of promise, a lot of skill. I believe in his upside, but I'm looking at the Lakers roster. Guess what, Max? Guess what, Max? How can you do but so much if the players around you can't do but so much? And that's the question.
The next question we have coming up from Molly, I think we're going to get into that. I want to take it back to whether he's going to be worth the hype. Look, if he turns out to have a career like Mark Jackson, would that be worth the hype? Because he is more athletic than Mark Jackson, and he looks like that kind of passer who makes the guys around him better. And Mark Jackson had an excellent career. Jason Kidd, if he could turn out to be that would be Hall of Fame. No one would doubt that would be worth the hype. And I think that's sort of the upside of what he could maybe be, a Jason Kidd player. But I think comfortably we could say it's Mark Jackson certainly within his grasp, even if he's not the most athletic guy. And that would be considered not unworthy of the hype. Does Magic Johnson know about point guards? I mean, Magic Johnson's first major move that we're going to really remember, not just moving contracts, is in the draft selecting Lonzo Ball to run the new era of Showtime. I will defer to Magic Johnson's sensibilities of who can run the point in L.A.
Well, again, we're not questioning who he selected as the point guard. What we're saying is when you are the quintessential point guard, you're only as good as the parts around you, because it's about distributing, it's about captaining, it's about being a floor general. And if you got a bunch of weak soldiers, you got a problem.